Welcome to this video. It's a postscript to the Birthday Reminders series of videos which I've recorded earlier. Whilst coding birthday reminders, I was troubled that I was copying and pasting code between files, breaking the do not repeat yourself rule. I knew there had to be a better way and suspected that dependency injection was the answer, but just couldn't figure out how to use it. Spurred on by a comment on one of my YouTube videos by Mihai Dumitro, and I hope I've pronounced that vaguely correctly, and following the hint that Mihai gave me, I think I've got it cracked. The problem, as can be seen from this slide, is that I've copied two pieces of code, one from person service and one from email service. Let's have a look at that in code and see how it can be solved. And this is the problem. Here we are in reminder service, and I've got this code here, which I simply copied from the person service, this code here. And similarly, further down, I've got this code here for sending emails, which I just copied from the email sender. Again, same kind of code, although the reminder service hasn't got the try catch in there. But it's basically the same code. Now what Mihai points out is that I am unwittingly already using dependency injection and that I could follow my own example. And this is the section where I seem to have unwittingly used dependency injection to get the configuration from app settings down here for the SQL connection. I simply copied this code from somewhere, I'm not quite sure where, but this is the clue. So what I can do now, knowing that that is dependency injection, what we have to do is add a couple more variables. One for the email service and one for the iPerson service. And we can now extend this section here. And again, I had problems with this to start with because I wasn't convinced that you could, or didn't know, that I could add in here as many services as I needed. So I've got one for email service and one for person service. We then need to add in here a couple more things, and you'll see that actually Visual Studio 2022 is trying to help us here. And it even saves me from typing that in. So with that now configured, I can now replace this section here, which I'm just going to comment out for the moment, with this. So I'm using people equals await underscore person service dot person get by days to next birthday. And we're passing in there the day's notice. The next section we can replace is this section. Again, I'll just comment that out to start with. And I can replace it with this. So underscore email service dot send, and I'm passing into it the send to email subject and email body. And we've got no problem. So since we've got no problems, I'm going to delete this section and I'm going to delete this commented out code. And it was at this point I realized that the code I'd got here for the email body, I'd also got elsewhere. I'd also got it in the email test page. If I scroll down here, we'll see that we've got email body down here, and that is basically a copy which I've pasted into the reminder service. So I thought, well, perhaps the way around that is to add a new service for the email body. So following that approach, what I'll do is I'll go up to data, right click, and we'll add a new class, and I'll call it email body service. And if we look back in here in reminder service, we'll see that we need to pass into it, if we look at the email body, we need the day's notice, the person first name, the person next birthday, and the person age next birthday. So those are the things we need to take into account. But in our new service here, we want to add in here a declaration for the string, for the email body, and a new method. And in the new method, we want to return the email body. But as I mentioned, we want to pass into this new method the day's notice, the first name, next birthday, and age next birthday. So if I add those in here, so we've got day's notice, first name, next birthday, and age next birthday. And I've got int question mark here because on person service, we've got age next birthday as int question mark nullable. So that's why we've got that question mark in there. Then all we need to do is to put in here the code for the email body. So we can literally copy that from, say, the reminder service, which is this section. So I can just pick that up, copy it, put it in here, and that is my new email body service. We need to make a couple of changes though. We're passing in first name, and the original was reading from the person object, so we can just clean that up by changing that to first name, that to next birthday, and that to first name, and that to age next birthday, and that as well. Now the last part of this is to extract the interface, and we do that by right-clicking on the public class up here and select Quick Actions in Refactoring and choose Extract Interface. I'm just going to add it to the current file and accept all their other defaults, and then click OK. And that gives us the I email body service, and you can see here we've got email body service : I email body service. That does mean that in program.cs, where we've got these other services, we need to add the line for the I email body, which is that. And to use it, we go back to reminder service. We need to extend this by adding another variable up here, private read only, extending that, and interestingly, Visual Studio tries to help us there again and even places that in there for us. And we need to now comment out the code in here for the email body. I'll comment it out first and then delete it. And place it in here. So that's the email body. It uses the service body, and we're passing into it the day's notice, first name, next birthday, and age next birthday. So we can delete that. I don't think we need that any longer. And that last line. So that changes reminder service, but we've also got the email body in the email test page, and we can delete it from here as well. So I'll comment that out to start with, and up at the top we need to inject that line, and I think that's what caused my confusion to start with. Because I'd used dependency injection in Razor pages, I assumed that we needed something like inject and then the service into the reminder service, and that's not necessary. Anyway, I'm digressing. So we've got that there, and now down here we can have, and the only difference is that up here we've got email body service, so that just needs to be email body service. And that's a copy of what we used in the reminder service. So that's it. I do wonder whether whether we ought to standardize between here and the reminder service so we don't have these differences, but the convention seems to be that these are underscores C# files, and they are with capital letters in Razor pages. Okay, we can now get rid of that, and our code is a lot cleaner. Now, the advantage of using dependency injection is that should I decide at any stage in the future that I want a slightly different email body to be sent out to people who use the system, I've only got one place to change it. So that's it. Dependency injection, possibly not quite as difficult as I was imagining. And thank you very much for the contributor or the commenter on my YouTube video. Thank you very much for watching this, and I hope you found it useful.